I ended up losing, but the dude who shot me, he was just like talking crazy, like, yeah, you needed that money, da, 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 da. So I'm like just trying to figure out like why was he even saying that to me? You know what I'm saying? We was just going back and forth, and he ended up calling me a bitch. You know, that's like we don't like that.
Nah.
So we on two different sides of the craps table. He's over here, I'm over here. I just like slowly walk around, bro. Like telling him as I'm walking around, like, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
I wasn't even about to do nothing to him because he's small.
Yeah.
Bro, I swear it's like the quickest thing that ever happened to me. It really felt like he shot through his pants. Because I seen him clutch, but I didn't see him pull it out.
Yeah.
So all I seen was go here and boom, I'm shot. And I know I'm shot because I feel it in my arm. I didn't even know I was shot in my stomach until I got to the hospital. I was bleeding on my shirt. I had a white shirt on. I was bleeding on my shirt, but I'm thinking it's from my arm. And when I got to the hospital, they was like, you got shot in your stomach too.
So listen to the play-by-play, day by day.
What it do, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to the Day by Day podcast for your Day by Day broadcast. I'm your host, Day with an I, not a Y. Please do not XY. And today I have a great one for y'all because we are joined by current professional football athlete, former college football athlete at North Carolina A&T and Shaw University. Shout out to the HBCUs, who has played for over 7 professional football teams, one of which is the Iowa Barnstormers, which is the former team of Super Bowl champion Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. He currently plays for the Nashville Cats. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by my brother, a good friend and supporter of the brand, Trevante Tilo Long. My dog, what it do?
Guy, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. I appreciate you for making this happen. I know you got a cold and you still pulled up.
Yeah.
That's real, man. I appreciate that.
For sure.
And before we get to that, the Iowa Barnstormers, that's a wild ass Midwest ass name. Like, because I think of like tornadoes and shit. But Iowa, like, what was that like?
So I'm gonna tell you first, bro, it was
bring them like just a little like
right.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
But first of all, it was nothing to do out there.
I could imagine.
Literally. But they had us in nice apartments. But like for the most part, bro, it was nothing to do out there. But it was a lot of tornado watches. It's crazy. You said something about tornadoes. It was endless tornado watches.
You ever seen one when you was out there?
Nah, I didn't see one. One looked crazy in the sky one time. And I called my coach like, yo, it's about to be a tornado because I'm from Maryland. I've never seen a tornado in my life.
Right.
So he like, nah, we get them once a week, twice a week type shit.
Like, that's nothing.
Yeah.
That's like rain in Florida.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just part of the
like
program.
Hurricane shit in Florida.
So let's start here. You say you're from Maryland and you know, we're currently here in Charlotte. Like I said, you went to A&T, which is in Greensboro, and Shaw, which is in Raleigh.
Yeah.
So you spent some time in North Carolina, originally from Maryland. So like, just like give us a little feedback, if you would, on where you're from, where you grew up, where you spent time coming up.
Okay. All right. So originally from Greenbelt, Maryland. Everybody who's from Maryland know where that's at. Right there by Bowie. So yeah, so I did end up, so it's crazy. I ended up moving. So my grandmother was sick when I was like 13 going on 14. And my mom had moved down here. So we actually moved down here mid-high school.
Okay. In the middle of high school.
Yep. So I ended up going to North Mech. Finishing high school at North Mech here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what years? Your junior and senior?
Yeah. Sophomore, junior, senior.
What high schools did you go? What high school did you go to? Rose.
Yeah,
okay. All right. Cool.
So so we did that. I ended up moving back to Maryland after high school was over. Well, like when I first went to A&T. Yeah. So then really just been back and forth, especially going to both of them colleges.
Yeah. So how did you get to A&T from North Mech? You were recruited?
Yeah, so it's so crazy. 11th grade, I had I'm not gonna say the offers. You know when they start sending the letters in.
Yeah,
you
be
going
hype.
crazy.
Yeah,
so you hype. So you don't know what's going on. You just see the letters coming in.
Right.
I ended up getting in some trouble 11th grade, and letters just stopped. So
what type of trouble did you get in?
I ended up getting locked up. Did something stupid. My friends, we ended up getting locked up.
Yeah.
So I was locked up. I was actually on house arrest for like 6 months.
Really?
Crazy as a 16-year-old. It was
it
formed my life though.
Yeah.
Maybe because to get a little spiritual part of that. So I'm in jail. My mother's trying to get me out, right? So she's getting recommendations from coaches, teachers, just like good people in the church. All know like what type of kid I am because obviously I just made a stupid mistake.
Yeah.
So she does that. She tells my mother's real spiritual. So she wasn't a pastor or anything like that, but she's like, I don't know the exact word. I think it's like apostle or something like where they kind of like just speak very like godly religious things over other people. People call them like she's like she used to be one of those. She stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But at the time she's telling me like God's telling me your administrator, the administrator at your school is working with your public defender to keep you in jail. Just like as trying to lock up a little young black kid.
Wow.
And I'm 16. I'm like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she's telling me that God's telling her this.
Yeah.
So then she also said that God told her what exactly to do. So she ended up going to the DA, writing a letter telling him what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the DA, this is when I really, 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 truly started believing in God completely. Like obviously everybody goes to church as a kid. But like that personal experience is what really gets you there.
That was that spiritual connection.
It was this the first one. So this was really my first one that got me like, okay, God is real.
Yeah.
That's who I'm rocking with. You know
How long were you locked up for exactly?
Probably, I think it was a month. I think it was maybe like a month and a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were charged as a juvenile or an adult?
I was charged as a juvenile.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was in juvie.
Yeah.
But to skip back to the part about the administrator. So she said that, right? So she went to the DA, wrote a letter. The DA ended up getting a judge to give me misdemeanors. I was the only one out the three of us who got misdemeanors. The other two dudes got felonies to this day. I only speak to one of them. The other one, I don't know where he is, but them two got felonies. I ended up getting a misdemeanor because of what my mother did. She went to the DA, told him what was going on.
Yeah.
And then the judge was like, I have never let nobody who blatantly broke into a house off with misdemeanors. And like, I mean, he'd been a judge for like 20 years. So that really changed my spiritual journey, I say.
Yeah.
Because now I'm just like, I'm not a huge church dude. I'm more a personal experience religious guy because of that.
Yeah.
You know, so I tell people, you know what I'm saying, do what you want to do with your religion, but if you're going to be a Christian, I say that you need to figure it out by like personal experience, like how you really feel about God, where you want to go.
Yeah,
like
that spiritual connection.
Yeah, because you could be in church all day and nothing happened, and you just like, church people do crazy stuff all the time.
Oh yeah.
So
it's about that personal spiritual journey.
You gotta go through that.
Imagine if you were charged with felonies instead of misdemeanors. Would you like be here right now? Do you think? Like,
I don't
would
think
you
so.
have
Because I
gone
don't think I would have gotten an A&T. Shoot, bro, I'm gonna be real. I probably would have been going down the wrong path.
Yeah.
If that would have never happened, I think I'd have been going down the wrong path for sure.
You know what's crazy, Lo? I went through the exact same thing when I was 15 years old or 16. I was 15. I just turned 15. Long story short, I got locked up for something I didn't do. Me and my friend, God rest his soul, Derek, we both got locked up at 15 years old because we were the same age and charged as adults for armed robbery.
This in Maryland?
Yeah, this was in Maryland. This was in Laurel.
Oh, man.
And we were literally walking home. And it's crazy. I could talk about it now. It's crazy. We saw it happen.
Yeah.
Because what happened was we're at my homeboy crib and we smoking in the garage. And me and Derek lived next to each other. So we was about to walk home. It's probably like a mile walk. So we about to leave and we see it's dark as fuck.
Yeah.
We see like somebody like getting jumped by like a car and some bushes like on a corner.
Damn.
So we went back in my man's crib. It was like, it was hot. Let's duck off for a minute. So then like an hour later, it's like midnight. We're walking home. And mind you, this is 2011, Lo. In 2011, I want you to answer this for me. In 2011, what did everybody wear on their heads?
Ski mask.
Ski mask.
Yeah. First, hold on. Let's get this right. I'm going to look at the camera. Pooh Shiesty did not start this ski mask. Y'all young dudes got to stop saying that.
Yeah, that shit is wild.
Maryland, this started ski mask. Maryland people wore, DMV people wore ski masks.
Yeah.
Let's stop with this poo shiesty stuff,
Yeah,
please.
to hear what they literally
They
call it a poo
shiesty.
shiesty.
Yeah,
Wearing a
like, bro,
shiesty.
we've been
Yeah,
wearing
that's-
this since we was kids.
Literally.
We would go to the beauty supply store and go buy one. And you lose it, you go right back and go get some more.
I used to get my shits from the Exxon for like
I'm
$5, bro.
telling you.
So we're walking home and we both got ski masks. I think he had his on rolled up and I had mine in my pocket.
Yeah.
So we're walking home and we get past the corner where it happened and a cop pulls us over. He's like, where y'all coming from? Da 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 da. He's like, we coming from my man's crib. We walking home. So he's like, stay here from. He gets to talking on his walkie or some shit. All of a sudden, 2 squad cars pull up. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Because at that moment, I've been arrested for like some petty shit, like weed. This was before weed.
At 15?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like my younger days. But I never like had no felonies. It was all misdemeanors, and my folks had to come pick me up type shit. So I see the 2 squad. We already know, like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So we're confused. Mind you, it's freezing. It's February. They had us sit on the curb, and one of the dudes that got jumped or whatever, they had him in the car. There was 2 of them. They had to put the light on us while we're sitting on the curb. They in the car. One of them said that we did it, and the only reason they brought him was because we fit the description of a dark male with a black male with dark clothes.
Yeah.
And had a ski mask. The robber had a ski mask. We're like, yo, everyone has a fucking ski mask, right? So long story short, that happened. And based off of what the dude said that we did it, we got charged 1st degree assault, 2nd degree assault, and armed robbery. And we got charged as adults. We're 15 years old.
That's crazy.
Right. So this is in Anne Arundel County. We had to go to Jennifer Road, which is the adult detention center. So, and this happened right after my sophomore year when I played backup QB on varsity. So it's like I'm getting ready to be that dude the next year.
Yeah.
So I get put out of school. I'm on house arrest. After I got out, like you said, I'm on house arrest for like 6-7 months. I had to go to summer school with the joint on my ankle still. Like,
man. I used to wear sweats,
bro,
every day, 90-degree weather.
It was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm out of school. I'm thinking I'm done. I'm like, damn, I can't play football again. But you know, my mother and my grandmother, they were strong support systems, just like your mother was. And I had an administrator that, contrary to yours, she was really like helpful in my situation. And I ended up getting back in for my junior year. And this was the same year that Eagles got Michael Vick.
Ooh.
So like I felt like a parallel life to Vick because he just came from getting locked up to playing for my favorite team. I just came from locked up to playing football again for my school, and I'm quarterback, and I'm wearing number 7. You know what I mean? So like people were calling me LV for Lil Vick and all types of shit. I ain't play like him obviously, but still just a lifestyle. But I just say that to say it's very similar to your story, and I'm so thankful that shit happened.
Yes.
Was it a headache during? Yes. Did my folks have to pull money from all sorts of places to cover lawyer fees? Hell yeah, it was such a headache. And honestly, even after I got out, before I got on house arrest, I got out. I'm out on bail, and I got locked up again. Cause
and it's like in the same time frame,
bro. I got locked up again, and the judge is like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then,
especially if they let you off,
I'm on bail.
You go do something stupid.
Like I'm going through the court joint. I'm on bail when I get locked up again for like. One of my friends punched some kid or some shit. It was some weird shit. And the judge like, what the fuck? No, get him on house arrest.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up getting on house arrest. But the moment like everything changed right then and there, because you know I was known as the athlete in the family, like the one that's football, like you know what I mean. Like I was known as that in the family. So and I have a lot of little brothers and cousins. So after I got locked up the second time, while I'm on bail and I'm on house arrest, I'm just chilling in my grandmother's crib, and my mother comes in the room and she's talking to me and she starts breaking down, crying. And she was like, yo, like, you're like really disappointing me because you have so many little brothers and little cousins that look up to you. And you out here, like, I know the first one wasn't you, but you're not sitting still. You out here getting locked up again. You still doing dumb shit. Like, they look up to you. They think this shit is cool because you're doing it. And right then and there, I turned from a boy to a man.
Yeah.
That was the exact moment. So yeah, I'm thankful that shit happened. And like you said, like yours was a life-changing and life, realization experience too.
Definitely. And like, kudos to my mother, man. She went on a like 11, I think it was 11 years. I'm trying to think how old I was when she started dealing with my now stepfather. But she went like 11 years, no sex, bro. I remember you was on the podcast talking about not having sex for a minute. And I was thinking about like, damn, I've never in my life seen nobody go no stretch like that. I don't know how to this day how she did it, but she did it so that I was protected my whole life. Like that's what she said. She said, God told her she I don't think she had to choose that, but she just ended up choosing that.
Right.
But like whatever you choose, you know what I'm saying? He said he was going to take care of your son, basically like watch over me at all times. And it's ridiculous how true it is because there's so many situations where I should have been locked up or just it could have went left and it
Dodged
went
a
right.
lot of bullets.
Oh man, actual real bullet too.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? I don't never think I ever told you, but I got shot 2021.
Yeah, you told me
I
last
got
time
shot 3
we
times.
saw each other.
Point blank. It's like a situation like that, I should have been gone. You know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy how her decision has protected me so much over these years. And I think I can be honest, as a grown man now, say that at points, I kind of took advantage of it.
Took it for granted.
Yeah, and I had to like apologize to God, like, you've been protecting me, and I kind of like know certain situations like you gonna get me out of, so I might just did like something stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Knowing that I probably was gonna get out of it, which I did, but it was just as you get older, you realize like you can't, because what if he let that loose?
He gonna let that lesson happen at one time. You think like, okay, I know God got me, so I can. Nah, bro. If you keep taking it for granted, he gonna be like,
whatever angel he got on me, I never want him to let loose. So I had to realize like I gotta stop taking advantage of that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. You said you got shot in 2021. Yeah, as we've known each other shit for like some time now, since like 2016, 2015, something like that.
Yeah.
And when we spoke last time we ran into each other at the Y, that was the first time you told me. So like, what happened exactly, and when did it happen when you got shot?
Okay, so it's 2021. I think it was the end of September. You know, it's COVID time still a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
it's starting to get to the end of it.
Right.
But it was nothing to do the whole time. So I was just shooting dice a lot in Greensboro. 2020, let's go back a little bit. I'm working at Liz 2019 going into 2020. I get a call from the Carolina Cobras to come play that year. That's down here. That was the NAL at the time. It was like the AFL
when they played at Bojangles.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. They played at you think about the Charlotte Thunder.
Yeah.
Cobras is in Greensboro.
Okay.
They play at the Coliseum in Greensboro.
Got you.
So 2020, I was supposed to play 2020 season, ended up getting canceled because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I just stayed in Greensboro. That was like the time I was depressed because I was like, I think I was like 26. So, you know, at that time, I'm out of college. I'm still trying to get to the NFL. I was in the best shape probably second best shape of my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, this the year. This the year I do it.
Right.
COVID come, crush them dreams.
Yeah.
So I get depressed. I gained probably 40 pounds, bro.
Really?
I go from like 210 to like 255. This is the biggest I've ever been. Yeah.
Wow.
I was just depressed, eating, drinking, smoking, all that because of that situation. I just thought my chances to the NFL was done. So I ended up, so that happened. So skip to 2021, September. I'm just shooting dice with dudes that I have been shooting dice for like a year. I don't really know them completely, but we shooting dice every day. So it's like a little gambling family type.
Yeah.
So just long story short, we get in a situation where I ended up losing, right? I probably lost like 300-400. But the dude who shot me, he was just like talking crazy. Like, yeah, you needed that money. Da, 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 da. And at the time, he knew I had a little bit of paper. So I'm like just trying to figure out like why was he even saying that to me? You know what I'm saying? So he was a little dude. He's probably like 5'7". We was just going back and forth, and he ended up calling me a bitch. You know, that's like, we don't like that.
Nah.
So we on two different sides of the craps table. He's over here, I'm over here. I just like slowly walk around, bro. Like telling him as I'm walking around, like, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
I wasn't even about to do that to him because he's small.
Yeah.
Bro, I swear it's like the quickest thing that ever happened to me. He like, it really felt like he shot through his pants. Cause I seen him clutch, but I didn't see him pull it out.
Yeah.
So all I seen was go here and boom, I'm shot. And I know I'm shot because I feel it in my arm. I didn't even know I was shot in my stomach until I got to the hospital. I was bleeding on my shirt. I had a white shirt on. I was bleeding on my shirt, but I'm thinking it's from my arm. And when I got to the hospital, they was like, you got shot in your stomach too. I got shot twice in the right arm, straight through. It's so crazy, like I'm saying about what I was telling you about my mom and God. it dodged my bone in my arm. I got shot in the meat. No diddy on both sides.
Yeah.
And then on my stomach, they said I had to have turned when he shot at me.
Mhm.
So it went through my stomach, but like through my skin instead of in the intestines.
Okay.
Yeah, so I made it. I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
I was good. I left that night.
Really?
Yeah, I left that night. I couldn't go to the gym for like 2-3 weeks. 'Cause I usually hoop. You know that.
Yeah.
I usually hoop to get in shape for football. I couldn't hoop for like 3 weeks. Couldn't do nothing, lift weights, none of that. So, but I was good though.
But still, to be good like that off of
I
3
swear I
hits
left
in the
right.
stomach.
Yeah.
You see nasty cases from people getting shot in their
They're usually
stomach.
out of there. Usually.
Shit bags.
Yeah.
They should be cut wide open, all
Yeah.
types of stuff. And you got right out of there.
Got right
That's
out
a
of there.
blessing,
That's what I'm
man.
telling you. That situation with my mom, it's just like
Yeah.
every day I thank her a lot. Like,
Yeah.
just mentally, like in my
Yeah,
head when
for
I'm
sure.
praying, because that was like the biggest. Okay, I'm really, really protected.
Yeah.
Like you need to figure out what you're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Type of like situation for me. Like after that happened, I'm like, all right, now it's time to really figure out what my calling is, because I'm really dodging stuff most people don't dodge. Like people go in the grave or in jail.
Did you ever contemplate that at any point after being shot? Like once you realized what happened, like did you ever contemplate like something seriously, like a serious injury or worst case even death? Like did any of that cross your mind?
That's a good question. I think I did, but more what it really did to me was it slowed me down.
Mm.
More like not going out anymore to a
Yeah.
club, being more aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
What else? Like it really just changed my perspective on a lot.
Mm.
I used to be a high head when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it probably came from my pops not being all the way around, because I'm not gonna say he wasn't around, but all the way, maybe not as around as I wanted him to be.
Right.
So I was always angry. I used to get a lot of fights, bro.
Mm.
A lot of fights in both places. Maryland, when I moved down here, they like, this Maryland kid, who is this? I used to beat up a lot of dudes at North Mick.
Yeah.
And then just in college too, I got in a lot of fights. I got in fights at A&T, Shaw, like maybe off campus though, obviously, on the football team.
Yeah.
But like, I realized walking away is more gangster. Like once I got shot, I'm like, there's no reason to. What am I proving? Getting mad, trying to beat up everybody. It's not proving anything, because nowadays dudes ain't taught to fight no more.
Case in point, like the little dude that shot at you.
You get what I'm
case in
saying?
point.
So, and he was older than me. He was like 34 at the time. I was 26. So
Yeah.
he old now.
Still, like you said, don't nobody fight. And like you said, it's more gangster walk away. That takes emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence can literally save your life
I
as
swear.
far as you being alive, being locked up, whatever may have you. So many dudes crash out, especially over women. They crash out over a chick because they have no type of emotional intelligence. And they either end up, we're going to get into it later on, they either end up locked up or dead over that shit. Like so many people. So yeah, it takes more strength, more discipline. Like you said, it's way more gangster to be able to walk away, because a lot of people can't. Pride, a lot of people, even if they know how to walk away, if there's other people there, especially somebody phone out, pride gonna fuck them up and they done just because of that.
And that's in the Bible too, man. Pride will kill you. Literally. Pride will end you in all types of ways. It'll end you, and it'll end you mentally before it ends you physically.
Yeah.
Like, if you got too much pride, you'll lose. And not even just a situation like that, but just with anything, like a job or just everyday life. You gotta keep pride. Basically, pride is attached to emotions.
Yeah.
What I've learned. So as men, especially, but everybody too, but especially as men, we gotta keep emotions out of everything.
Yeah.
So pride is attached to that. So we gotta.
Yeah. My favorite saying from my grandfather, he used to always tell me this, and I'm starting to realize it more and more every day. He would always say, "Don't get excited."
Yeah.
And I used to think, okay, he's literally mean like, don't get excited, happy. No, he's meaning don't let your emotions get the best of you.
Yeah.
Like he would always tell me that, because it really started when I played, like I said, I was backup QB my sophomore year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this dude that's playing in front of me is not nice.
good.
His dad was a coach.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm way better than him. He's like, yo, like, don't get excited.
Yeah.
Like, keep doing what you got to do, control what you can, and do not get excited, and let everything fall into this place like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
What was the recovery journey like after you got shot, physically and mentally?
Mentally lasted way longer than than the physical part.
Mm.
Physical, like I said, I think I was back hooping maybe a month later, back working out a month later. But mentally, like I said, like it still gets to me certain days. Like, my girl be wanting to go out and stuff, and I'd be like, "Nah, I'm not really. I don't go out no more." Honestly, I went out. I could probably count on one hand how many times I went out since 2023. Like the whole 23 and the whole 24.
Yeah.
So just like that, but I'd be able to tell it has nothing to do with her. It's just, I just feel like if I can keep myself out of situations, that's what I'd rather do now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Take control of it. You know what I'm saying? Putting it in your own hands.
Just getting a shot to change your life for
it
change your perspective.
I could only imagine, man.
It changed your perspective about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So how did you get back into football after that?
Okay, so got shot end of 21. I ended up re-signing with the Cobras, 22. And this is so crazy because this kind of like where I realized how good of an athlete I was. 22, so we're going into camp 22. Obviously, I'm still kind of fresh to the arena game. I played a year arena 2019. Carolina Havoc in South Carolina. Shout out to my coach, Desean. He's the one who got me in arena to this day. And I always try to be on the same team as him since I got in.
Yeah, that's real.
But I ended up re-signing with the Cobras again in 2022, and I had to play DB.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
So I'm playing DB, and obviously, like you said about the emotions, bro. Like, because the guys on offense, they were all dogs. I ain't gonna lie. But obviously, you know me, I feel like I can play with anybody.
For sure.
So they didn't really give me the chance that I wanted offensively, so they just like threw me right at DB.
Okay.
So at that point, I'm like, all right, so let me just go to practice and strap up the ones.
Yeah.
So that's what I ended up doing. I'm not gonna say I strapped everybody, but I ended up battling a lot.
Yeah.
Like to the point that like, oh yeah, this dude gotta start. So I ended up starting, and I was tied for first on the team in interceptions. I was leading the league in interceptions at one point. Like through the first 7 games.
Was you corner or safety?
Safety.
Okay.
So in the arena, it's 3s, 2 corners and a safety.
Okay.
Usually the middle guy who's the safety is the best cover guy.
Okay.
And that's what I was playing.
Got you.
Yeah, so I ended up having a pretty good year on defense that year. And then shoot, after that, it really kind of helped me in arena-wise when it comes to getting paid. Because now they like, oh, this guy can play 2 ways. We got to pay him like that too.
So that's how it works with.
Yeah, if it's a 2-way, so every league doesn't have 2 ways. Only the AFL did last year. Other than that, it was all whatever you play.
Yeah.
But if it's 2 ways, they got to pay you.
Right.
Simple as that. Same thing that's about to happen with Travis. Same thing that happened with Deion.
Yeah.
You know, Charles Woodson, them dudes like that. Champ Bailey. You got to get paid for that. Like,
so you think Travis should play both positions at the next league?
I honestly think he's going to be a corner, and they're going to put him on offense, put him on punt return.
Have packages.
That's the best way to save him, really. Because if you in the NFL, it's different. College, I'm not gonna lie. For him to have done it in college was crazy. But
and playing the Big 12 at that.
Yeah, playing against the best dudes in the world.
Yeah, it's different.
To do both ways, I don't know. That's tough.
So I want to rewind just a little bit.
Okay.
Those were great, you know what I'm saying, like great lessons and stories, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to rewind just a little bit more. I want to rewind to when we first met.
Okay.
Do you remember when we first met?
Nah, you got to tell me. You got to remind me.
The exact moment, I'm not sure, but I'm going to tell you the first time I heard of you.
Okay.
Because, you know, so we're playing Shaw, and I just came to Bowie State from Towson, and then from there from JUCO.
Yeah.
So I don't know nothing about the CIAA. I don't know about any other schools.
You know what's so crazy? I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't know a thing about CIAA. Like when I was at A&T, I didn't know. And it's crazy. The year that I came in, A&T had just played Winston and lost.
Really, to Winston?
They lost to Winston the year before I came in.
Wow.
And I don't remember not one. It's so crazy. My mother said that I sent my highlight tape to all the CIAA teams.
And don't even remember?
I don't remember that.
That's how it be. Like when you're trying to get, like in JUCO, I would do that. I would send it to every school in the country. And some schools that were applying to be like, I don't even remember sending it to you.
Yeah. A&T was the only school who gave me a scholarship.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. So So it's Shaw. It's upcoming Shaw. And then, you got your key players, so you have to scout. And for those who don't know, I played defense. I played safety at Bowie State in 2016?
Yeah, 16, 17.
And Lowe played wide receiver at Shaw at the time. So the key players to watch was the quarterback. What number was he? The
Darren, 2.
2. It was a QB number 2, and it was a wide receiver number 7. Big as fuck. Looked like Brandon Marshall out there. So then, what I'm saying, it ended up being you, and then we were studying you and everything like that, and then not only that, so when we actually play y'all, I'm keying in on you as a safety. I'm keying on you and the QB.
Yeah,
and plus I knew hella people that played for Shaw, either from Nassau to JUCO,
right?
Like Parker.
Rel.
Rel.
Shout out my boys, man.
Shout out all of them, man. Hella cool, all of them. And even, of course, Sean.
Yeah.
Exactly. So boom, that's the first time I've heard of you. Then we played that game.
Yeah.
And first off, let me say this. I want you to take on that game.
Yeah.
That was the top 3 hottest football games I've ever played in my life.
Let's get into that, bro. That's so funny. Let's start off with this.
Uh-huh.
If y'all go back and watch the film on that game, if y'all can, this man damn near ended our quarterback's life. I wish we still had the film. If he can find it and add it to this, that's what he needs to do.
I'll add it because I have it on my highlight.
He killed our quarterback. I don't even think he wanted to run after that anymore. But let's get it.
What
that
exactly,
was junior year.
Yeah. What exactly happened to him? I know he had a concussion and was like knocked out.
I don't just think he's never been hit that hard in his life. You honestly did some Sean Taylor
and it was a clean hit.
Yeah, it was clean. I don't even know how you got in the hole, no diddy, to meet him like that.
I'm gonna tell you exactly
because usually, hold on before you start. Usually, if he get a clean lane, no disrespect to Lamar, but that's the only person I can think of when he hit that hole off a read option, he was gone. So for you to catch him clean like that, that was like one of the craziest hits that I ever seen in my life. Like, with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah,
I done see some crazy stuff, obviously, like on YouTube. But
I'm gonna break down that play, right? So, like I said, he was a key. We scouted him.
Yeah,
like the whole week. We're like, listen, if we stop the quarterback, we're stopping their offense.
Yeah,
that's all Coach Sewell.
That's so true.
Talked about the whole week, right? Yeah. So I'm keying on him. He's like, Nixon, he's going to do read option. You got to come down and play the alley. You have to be the field player. I'm like, cool. I'm no problem with that. I was striking shit. I was only $185 at Bowie, but I was striking shit.
Definitely was striking.
So the play happens, right? He pulls it and he runs. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm already downhill. I'm not even playing the pass. So I'm like 10 yards away from the ball.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm free safety, but I'm creeped up some. He pulls it, he runs. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm moving towards him because he's fast. So I'm like, I got to close the space as quick as possible.
Facts.
So I'm moving towards him as he's moving because he's fast as fuck.
Yeah.
It's an alley. And it was such a tight alley. There was nowhere for him to juke, nowhere for him to go. The only thing, and I closed the space quick, the only thing he could have done was slide. And I would have bet all my money in that moment that he was going to slide.
Yeah.
Because I came in on him so quick, it was nowhere for him to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know for sure he's about to slide.
Yeah.
So as I'm moving towards him, I'm like, okay, he's about to slide. But I realize he's not sliding. And like each centimeter I'm moving towards him,
you
I'm
still
like,
realize he's not sliding.
This dude still is not sliding.
I ain't gonna lie, my boy Darren was a tough one, bro. He didn't really slide. Like, he didn't really slide. He was taking hits that he was never supposed to take.
That shit, it literally messed my head up that he didn't slide.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere for him to go. Yeah. It's like the only way he can go is through me. Yeah. And that shit's not happening because he wasn't a big dude.
Nah, not at all. He's probably like $160.
Yeah.
Wet.
And like I said, I'm $185, but I'm moving and I know how to use my body weight.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, he's not sliding. Okay, bet. I lowered my shoulder into him while I'm still running.
Here comes the ambulance.
Next thing I know, it was one of them joints where like my head was ringing a little bit, but I felt the energy. I felt the crowd go, ooh.
It's worse from my perspective because I swear I remember that. You know, I talk to you about it all the time.
Yeah.
We was in trips, right? I'm the ex, so I'm by myself.
Yeah.
So I remember coming off, we run a read option. I heard the play. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. So I come off like lollygag a little bit.
Yeah.
Get my blocks a little bit, and I realized y'all corner, I can't remember the number. But he was just chilling.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, he must not be doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I turn around and look down the line of scrimmage because he didn't get far.
Right.
And I see you. It's really like everybody else was out of the picture.
Yeah.
I just see 5 and I see 2
Yeah.
just running at each other, and 2 just ends up in the dirt.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, nah. I tell you all the time, that was like one of the craziest hits.
Yeah, that was definitely. I've had some hard hits, but that was top 2. It might be one harder. I'm not sure because I laid someone out that played for Shawan, but that was top 2 for sure. And when I got up and realized what happened, like my shoulder was like kind of tingling, and like, I was a little lightheaded. Like that's why when I got up, like I ain't do nothing. The next day in film, they went crazy in the film room, and my coach was like, "Nixon, show some emotion. Like you just." You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Coach, I was hurt.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like when I got up, I was a little hurt. It took me like a minute to gather myself together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then dude stayed down, and then I realized what happened. I was like, oh shit. And I never want nobody to get hurt when I play football.
Me neither. I don't like seeing that.
Yeah, I really don't. But like I said, like my job is to hit somebody. So that's what I did. But I just say that to say, you know, when he came out the game, it made it that much easier for us.
Oh
like
my God.
it kind of like really stood y'all offense still after that.
Yeah, not for sure.
You know
so
what I mean?
So to get to that point,
Mm-hmm.
my junior year, so sophomore year was my best year at Shaw.
Okay.
Because I had help. Danny Webster was a white boy, he played receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Came from ECU. He was a dog. I ain't gonna lie, he taught me a lot. And then we had my boy Trey. He wore number 1.
Okay.
He's like 6'5". He's probably one of the best tall receiver route runners that I had seen at the time. Who else did we have? Then we had All-American running back Grizzle. He wore 7 before me.
Okay.
And we had, honestly, sophomore year, we had a pretty good offense. Our defense was like ranked top 5 in the country.
Yeah, we studied your sophomore year's film before we played y'all junior year. Like we watched a lot of your previous year's film.
Yeah. That was the best year at Shaw. Because nobody knew I was.
Right.
So, and then I had help, so there was no doubling. Like, so the reason why I brought that up is to get to the junior year. I can't remember what his name was, but he wore 7'2" for y'all that year. Taylor.
Yeah.
So I had talked to him a lot off season. After the game, he had told me, like, y'all coach was like, we either gonna double him or we just gonna send a backer up under whatever route, just up under whatever you do. So I remember, like, every time I ran a dig or a curl or anything, 7 was just sitting right there, like, along with the corner.
Yeah.
So really when Darren went out the game, I already knew we was we were already losing.
Yeah.
But I already knew we was crushed because I'm like, young boy ain't ready.
Yeah.
And now I'm really not gonna get the ball. They already double teaming me.
Right. We definitely did double you. Like that was emphasis because I don't even remember if we talked about the other receiver.
Yeah.
But it was 7 with doubling him.
Yeah.
When he's running a comeback or a curl, I need someone in the flat or I need someone in the middle taking that underneath.
I remember like every time I turned around, it was two black and gold dudes following me. So I definitely remember that. And it's so crazy. I had got double like that all year. Really all year. I didn't score a touchdown my junior year.
Really?
Yeah. So at that point, I'm like, damn, bro, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I was really down after that because I'm like, nobody's gonna take you. You can't even get in the box. I had a lot of catches. I think I had like 500 yards that year, maybe like 50-something catches, no touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
I felt like my coach should have threw some more fades because that's what I was known for. Like,
it seemed like you ran a lot of comebacks and digs.
So in that offense, it was called Titan. That was what the route was called. But it's like the comeback so it's not the comeback that comes back out 45.
Yeah.
It's like you pivot 45. So
Okay.
we ran a lot of that. I did run a lot of those.
Yeah, I remember that.
And curls.
Yeah.
That was pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, and after that game, like you reached out to me like, bro, why you do my QB like that?
Yeah, bro,
and then like, you know what I'm saying? I knew that you knew Sean and then you was from around the way and you know what I'm saying? We just ended up getting cool.
Yeah.
So after before Shaw, you was at A&T. So let's talk about A&T for just a quick second.
Okay.
Let's talk about present day A&T because they just went 1-11. And last year they went, what, 1-10? They went 1-10 last year. And this came from after them leaving the MEAC, right? Do you think that was a bad move for A&T football?
Stupid. I think if you are a powerhouse, wherever you are, you stay there. Just run the MEAC for the rest of it. Like,
why not?
And I think if they stayed in MEAC, shout out Coach Broadway, that's who paid for me to come that year. And Coach Washington, Coach Wagner, all the guys that were there when they were on that run. Coach Cord, let me not leave him out. Coach Oliver, who's the head coach for Central now.
Okay.
All them guys, man. I love all them guys. I feel like if they don't lead the MEAC, all them dudes stay and they still winners right now.
Yeah.
Like Lamar, who was the quarterback from that range where Tariq and them was killing.
Did he wear 7 or 17?
He wore 7.
7, okay.
Yeah. He lives like literally across from me in my apartments now.
Wow.
And we was talking about it the other day, like, I don't know what's going on there now. To me, it's like it's not even. It don't feel like an HBCU anymore. Obviously, because technically you moved up, you moved out of that. But
so do you think it's because they can't keep up with the competition, or because
I think just the recruit's not the same? But
That's
our
right.
running back coach was Sean Gibbs. Shout out to him too. He just got rehired, and now he's the head coach.
Okay.
So I think it's about to go back to normal.
Around.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go back to normal.
Yeah.
My year that I played was a year I feel like the dynasty came apart. I'm not gonna say it started because it started with Lamar and them for real. But we went 8-3.
And what years are these that you're talking
this is
about?
2012.
Okay.
They were losing before that.
Yeah.
So we came in there, we went 8-3, and then they were like, I think the next year when I ended up flunking out of A&T, and that was Tariq Cohen's freshman year, they went like 9-2, and then like another 9-2.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like 10-1. There was an undefeated season after that.
Like, oh shit! Like
they barely was losing after that.
Yeah.
So I think it started with the team that I was on that year. But it was all the same coaches. And then Coach Washington was the defensive backs coach when I was there. He ended up being the head coach. And then they just took off after that for real. But they should have never left the MEAC. That killed them.
That's why. So they go to the CAA, which are PWI schools, and they start losing.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the players, competition,
Get out coach.
or resources?
Getting out coach.
Getting out coached.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was our problem at Shaw. Not saying that because I love all them coaches to death. I felt like they weren't always prepared though. I feel like we did a lot of whatever we wanted to do instead of trying to combat what the other team does bad. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we just ran whatever we wanted to run, and if it worked, it worked. It didn't. Like my senior year, so junior, like I was saying, junior year I got doubled a lot. Senior year I got some help. I got a young boy named Daniel Bender, call him Kodak. He had the Kodak.
Yeah.
He's from Florida, Jacksonville. Shout out my boy. He was one of the most polished freshmen I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
So he came in, I had him, and then I had my boy Strap. Well, that was his nickname. His real name is Marquise Gorham. He played with me at A&T too, ended up flunking out too. It's just crazy how he ended up back up at Shaw with me. So at that time, my senior year, we got the most dynamic receiving core in the CIAA for easily, and maybe in the country, D2. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so crazy. After the season, I did like the statistics on how much we ran and passed the ball. We ran the ball 74% of the season.
Oh, man.
Yeah, 74% of the season. And it still haunts me all the time.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you had
tough.
all that talent at receiver.
Yeah.
And we just handed the ball off a lot. And it was kind of easy for teams that game plan against us.
That's tough. Coaching really does make a huge difference, despite the talent that you have on your team.
Yeah.
So I went to Towson and Bowie State. For those who don't know, Towson is a FCS school in the CAA, since we're mentioning it. And I went there for a spring semester, then got recruited to Bowie State after the coach did some fuck shit over at Towson. Player-wise, resources-wise, not even player-wise, resources-wise, as far as weight room, training, facilities, all that, Towson had it, money, all that. But the coaching at Bowie, that was the first time, at least at the college level, that I came across like elite coaching. Shout out to Coach Wilson, who's head coach over at Morgan State now. He's the one that, he, of course, gave the green light, but the one that recruited me was the D coordinator at Bowie State at the time, Coach Sewell. He's the D coordinator at Morgan State, so he went with Coach Wilson.
Who was your offensive coordinator name?
Coach Mo. He's over at Central now.
Oh,
well, last time I seen him, he was at Central. I don't know if he's still there.
To jump to a crazy situation, I think this is coming out of sophomore year in the junior year. You know when they sent, I can't remember exactly what it was, Media Day. CIAA Media Day.
Yep.
So going into junior year, I go up there, me and who was the other person with me? Bruce. Me and BP had went up there. And y'all coach, I think I was talking in the interview, Our coach had pulled me to the side. Was like, "You want to come to Bowie State, right?" You know. So, but it's crazy. Him and my head coach were close.
Okay. This is Coach Mo you talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I end up telling my head coach like, "Yeah, they trying to get me to come to Bowie."
Yeah.
And my head is shit. Y'all throwing the ball 50 times a game. Why
Yeah,
not? Why?
right.
And I can go home
We
too.
would air that bitch out.
Oh my God. And y'all had Amir at the time, which is probably the best black quarterback I've seen in a minute, other than Lamar. I think him and Lamar, my own 2 eyes, are probably the best two black quarterbacks I've seen.
And Amir was a pocket passer. That was the dopest part.
I've rarely ever seen him run.
He could if he had to, but he was a
y'all,
pocket
y'all
passer.
Y'all O-line was good.
Oh,
y'all line was good, so he never really had to run.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, shh.
Right.
That
shit was
tempt me with a good time. Yeah,
that shit was intriguing.
I already know I come to Bowie State, I'm getting 1,000 every year.
Easily.
So I was thinking about it, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay. I'm usually a loyal dude. So but I had to throw that in there because your coach probably don't remember that, but he definitely put me to the side. Like,
so then this is 2016.
16.
So let me ask you this. So say you would have chosen to go to Bowie State. Would you have been able to play it as soon as you got? Would you have to sit out?
I think I would have had to sit a semester.
Yeah.
I can't remember the rules exactly, but I think
thing.
it was weird. I think I would have had to sit a semester. It's not the same now because now you can do whatever you want.
So let's talk about it. We got the transfer portal and the NIL both today now, and they go hand in hand. So like, what's your thoughts on the two today? Because we played in a time where there was no transfer portal. Where if you transferred, you had to sit out a semester or maybe even a season. Now with the transfer portal and the NIL and one affecting the other and vice versa, what's your thoughts on those two in college football today?
I think that is great for the young kids, honestly. I'm not a hater. I wish that we had that back then because I probably would have got up out of Shaw after my sophomore year, for real. And I would have made a lot of money at Shaw because I had a poster in the cafeteria. Like, just sitting in there.
You got some sponsors.
Yeah, so I definitely would have made some money. Maybe not millions like Travis and them, but I definitely would have made
some shit.
Those
were oodles and noodles days.
I would have helped my mom out for sure. But I don't hate on them kids, man. I like the fact that they able to do that because, shoot, when we were, like you saying, when we was playing, we wish we could have did that.
Facts.
So I feel like they should have got it a little earlier. But I mean, everything is God's timing, so I think it's right on point. I do think that it's terrorizing kids. What's the word I want to say? Like their their drive. I think it is terrorizing that because now, say you're a good kid, right? And you go to school and you don't like something the coach say. Now you can just dip. You don't have to work. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to do nothing. Like you just leave. And they coming to coaches now with, I want this if you want me.
Yeah.
So I think like the drive
yeah.
and the want to like just be great is not the same because of that now though. I do think that.
Yeah, I wanted to dissect that. So you're saying the character. It's making them soft in a sense because if, like you said, if they don't like the way coach talks to them, they can be somewhere in a semester. You know what I'm saying? Like easily.
And they can sit out if they don't want to play and
right.
just leave the next semester.
And then the other part you said, well, what about like the culture aspect? Because at least with us, we went to HBCUs. And when I went from JUCO to PWI to HBCU, going to a HBCU was the first time I really embraced the culture of the college that I was at. Like Bowie State, like from the fight songs to the chants to just the traditions, especially that Bowie State held, like I really take pride in that. You know what I mean? And what's your take on the transfer portal affecting actual student athletes embracing and becoming a part of the culture of that school?
So that's a good question. To me, I think that it's very detrimental to the culture. Only because you can't really create one if you don't put in like work and years with that team. To me, it's just personally like how I feel about it. I feel like culture is built by players and coaches being there for a while. So kids is leaving every year about the schools. There's no culture really being built unless it's already like a school like Alabama, Georgia. But shoot, like A&T, like to get back on A&T, like the culture is not the same. That culture is completely gone.
Is that because of the transfer portal or just in general?
I think 50% was because the coaches left, but I think it was because they left because of them moving up to that CAA,
Yeah.
and then probably the transfer portal and stuff too now though. But yeah, culture is built from guys going through it, and I don't know about y'all. Y'all facilities was pretty good to me because when I went home, I used to work out with Umar like off season and a couple other Bowie State guys. And y'all obviously y'all have a field.
Yeah, we had a field.
Yeah, we didn't have a field. We had to drive 20 minutes to Durham.
To the what's it called?
The Durham Stadium. So we really got it out of the mud at Shaw.
Yeah,
Like you wanted to work out, you had to go other places. Like I went to Central. I was going to Duke.
Okay.
We had the field we practiced on was called Chavis Park. That was a park for everybody.
Right.
Yeah, like a neighborhood
So that's
park.
how it was with JUCO. At Monroe, we didn't have our own field. We had to
Sean told me
drive
that too.
like 15 minutes down the street to like the city park in New Rochelle for practice and for play.
Yeah.
So that's what Shaw, like your stories of Shaw reminds me of JUCO. Bowie was pretty good. Compared to other schools, Bowie was decent.
Yeah.
Training room was tiny. And like I said, I came from Towson. You know, Towson got that chicken. So when I went from JUCO to Towson, I'm like, what the fuck? Like the training room was so unbelievable. They had 2 ice pools, not a bath, ice pools and a hot pool. Then you got like 20 tables. Like it was insane. And it's right next to the field. And then it's connected to the locker room. The locker room was insane. The lockers, you know what I'm saying? Like going from JUCO to that was insane. And then going from that to Bowie, it wasn't like going back to JUCO level, but it was like, okay, you can tell the difference between PWI and HBCU for sure.
Yeah.
Like the resources, it was day and night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of JUCO and speaking of the transfer portal and everything, what's your take on the new rule? They call it what's the QB's name? Diego Pavia, the QB from Vanderbilt.
Yeah, what about him?
So, you know, I don't know the complete nuances to it, but he just like had like a little case with the NCAA. And he won. So pretty much, Desi, watch out. Go lay down, Des. So pretty much, they call it the Diego Pavia rule. Pretty much now, non-NCAA schools, as far as football, won't count towards eligibility. Meaning, if you go to JUCO for 2 years, it won't start your clock.
4 now.
You got 4.
Oh my God.
So Coach JB from the Netflix joint, he said now JUCOs are the new prep schools and D2s are the new JUCOs. You can go to JUCO for 2 years, go to a D2, go the fuck off, and then go to Bama. You know what I mean? And spend 3 years there after you've played 3 years of football technically.
Man, listen, if I was able to do that route.
Right. Niggas went to JUCO at the wrong time, bro. Like, we could have spanked that joint.
Oh my God, man. I'd have been first top 4 rounds. But I kinda like, again, I'm not hating on them young kids, bro. I kinda like whatever they're doing for them to help them get to their own dreams.
Yeah.
So I do think, like when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, that's ridiculous. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, they really just trying to help all the kids.
Yeah.
So at least, so it's more like leagues and stuff now outside of NFL.
Yeah.
So it's really just helping kids being able to get that opportunity.
Yeah. Money wise, kudos.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as a culture for the school, they won't really be able to feel that. Some will stay, but most student athletes won't really be able to really be a part of that culture at that school. Now it's just about the money, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's a business now. Like that's another professional sports league at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
right.
And even with the coaches, so kind of tying into it, the formal head coach at Marshall, Coach Huff, I don't know his first name. He gets hired to be the head coach at Southern Miss.
How long was he at Marshall?
I don't know, but they just won the conference. I don't know exactly how long he was there. But anyway, so he gets hired to be Southern Miss's head coach because Marshall doesn't pay him enough. 36 players went with him from Marshall to Southern Miss to the point where the new coach, the replacement coach at Marshall, is trying to re-recruit some of the players that just left Marshall that's trying to go to Southern Miss. He's trying to re-recruit some. 36 players left Marshall to go with him to Southern Miss.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. I heard nothing about that. That's ridiculous though, bro.
So it's like,
dude, that's your whole team.
Yeah. So like
That's
we said, the
special
culture
teams, offense,
aspect.
defense.
The culture aspect is players and coaches, really, and they can kind of work hand in hand with each other and vice versa at this point because of the transfer portal.
Yeah, no, that's right. So the whole culture is now shifted to what you said, Southern Miss, right?
Yep.
School.
Yep.
Yeah, so now Marshall got to start it all over. Shout out, Keem Cato is the best quarterback in Marshall history.
Okay.
That was my quarterback in 2023. That's why I asked you what was the head coach name. I was trying to see if it was the same coach he had.
It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
And so that actually is very similar to, they were calling it one of the Deion effects.
Yeah.
Where you're transferring to, or you're getting a position at a school, whether it's your old players or you're just trying to start from scratch because you don't like what you see that's there currently.
Yeah.
You wiping the slate clean. I think Deion was the first to do it at that magnitude.
Yeah.
Because what was he saying? I got Louis bags. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like the first one to you know what I'm saying, like really do that.
To start that switch.
Yeah. So another one of the Deion effects, if you would, which is the biggest today, is these former NFL players getting hired as head coaches at these HBCUs. Deion was one of the first, because it's Deion, it's prime time.
Right.
So that was one of the first ones that really hit the spotlight. You also got Eddie George, who's over at Tennessee State. And then most recently, shout out to that boy Vick, Michael Vick, Norfolk State, and Desean Jackson at Delaware State.
I love it.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts? First off, what's your thoughts on just the overall just it happening in general with these former Black NFL players becoming HBCU head coaches?
I kind of honestly love it because it's giving young kids the perspective of they can relate to the head coach at 100%. Other than the fact that he was in the NFL, but like just him being a Black coach and kids, you know what I'm saying, the things that's going on now, just them be able to really, really, truly be able to pour themselves to a coach and him be able to relate to them as well. Like, not saying that you can't do it with white coaches. I don't think anything bad of white coaches. I loved all my white coaches.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes they don't always understand everything.
That's different on that personal level.
Yeah, on the personal level, they don't always understand everything the Black kids go through.
Yeah.
Especially when you're chasing a dream or trying to get your family out of a situation or just whatever it may be. I really just think that sometimes the Black head coach helps with like the culture part and just being able to, like I said, relate to the kids. And like once you get that relationship with your head coach, like everything's relatable, the field becomes easier. Like things on off the field, once y'all closer off the field and everything's more connection off the field, I feel like when you get on the field, it just magnifies. You know what I'm saying? Like
How
when
so?
it comes to basically, like, I feel like when you got a good relationship with your head coach off the field, it translates to the field as in y'all trust each other. You trust him, and you trust what he's calling, and then vice versa, he trusts you to make the plays, and stuff like that. So I think Norfolk State probably gonna get better. Delaware State gonna get better.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing as far as the program, because you're gonna have, like, it's just like what happened with Deion at Jackson State. You're gonna have kids that transfer just to learn from underneath this person. Like QBs especially are banging at the door of Norfolk State to learn from underneath Michael Vick.
Right.
But just players in general, because Michael Vick's going to bring a professional staff with him.
Yeah.
But you want to learn that professional aspect from Michael Vick. If I'm someone at another school, if I'm coming out of high school, I want to get that wisdom from Michael Vick. He's been through the highs and the fucking lows from college to NFL.
Yeah,
so you can alleviate running into all those situations yourself and just learning from him, because he's gonna put them on the game with a lot of shit.
That's a fact.
This is a dude that went from no good news to Virginia Tech to playing in the national championship to being the most electrifying college football player at quarterback, going #1 drafted for the Atlanta Falcons, turning the city of Atlanta all the way up to crashing all the way down after he got locked up for the dogfight to coming back to the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Leading them to the playoffs, going off, you know what I'm saying, to retiring as a legend, to being a sports analyst from Fox. Like, you can soak up all that game from him. So even if you're not just a QB, you're going to want to go to pick that game. And then Desean Jackson over at Dell State, same with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the fastest players ever to play the game and one of the biggest deep threats in the NFL.
I think he actually has the highest yards per catch. I think he has the highest yards per catch average ever.
I believe it because I think he has the most.
Last time I looked, he was number one.
Yeah,
because he was in the 20s. I can't remember what it was, like 20 something. But yeah, D-Jack was that man.
Yeah,
D-Jack was that man for sure.
So what's your thoughts on those two actual hires, Mike Vick to Norfolk and D-Jack to Dell State?
Like you said, both of them dudes have been up and down situations.
Yeah.
So I think that them catching them jobs, man, I think they going to change kids' lives outside of football. Like you said, just being able to talk to them and being able to get insight on what you shouldn't do first.
Right.
And then then on the back end, getting all the good stuff that they did do. Like
exactly.
Getting to the NFL, how they got there, what they did to stay so long.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying, playing football professionally for over years is different things you got to do. It's not the same as college.
Yeah.
Like the main point as you get older is just to make sure you don't decline. So
seriously,
you just got to learn, and I think that starts with just learning your body first, but learning everything that goes along with it, like being able to eat right and, make sure you get sleep.
Yeah.
You got to get sleep. Like I know when I was younger, I didn't care about sleep because I'm young.
Right.
I didn't care about stretching. I didn't care about nothing. So like once you really learn the effects of all that stuff, you start to realize how you'll stay ready every year.
Because everyone's good. So it's the small things that's going to become the separating factors. Like you said, stretching, sleeping, all that good old stuff.
Right. And I'm 31. So like I said, I'm at this point, I don't lift heavy and nothing like no more. I lift to not decline.
Right.
So I feel like I caught my peak and I just don't want to decline.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's
about staying sharp. I love both hires, especially the Vic one. I got so much love for the 757. I always say my favorite region of women on the East Coast, 757 is top 2 for me.
Yeah, 757 got some tough ones.
Like I've had great experiences.
Yeah.
Great times. I've never had a bad time with a 757 chick. I always say that. Like I really love 757. So, and then only that, like I just really got mad love for the 757 in general.
Yeah.
I got family from VA. So I actually got some out there in the Hampton area. But and it just makes sense. I mean, he's from the area. Like it just makes so much sense. I'm not gonna lie, the D-Jax one was random as hell.
That was random. I don't know how that came about. But like I said, I love it, bro.
Yeah,
he's gonna get young, short, small receivers who probably didn't think they had a chance to go there and then soak up everything they get from him and just
that's a good point.
Get their chance.
Yeah, because Dell State kind of been on a decline for as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
So if he goes there and turns them up, that's going to be huge.
I don't ever remember them being like crazy good. As long as I was in college, can't remember them like even going to the MEAC championship.
Yeah, me neither.
But they always had good players. Like shout out my boy Milton Williams. He went to the league from Dell State, and they had a couple other good dudes.
Milton Williams on the Eagles?
No. He's not in the league right now.
Okay.
He's actually in the AFL too.
Okay,
got
AFL
last year.
Got you.
But he ended up going to the Raiders out of there. And so, but they've always had good players, but I just can't remember them being like a powerhouse at any time.
Yeah, me neither.
While I was in college.
Yeah, but they'll definitely turn up because, like I said, people gonna go there just saw the strength of D-Jax, and they actually play each other, Mike Vick and D-Jax. That game gonna be insane.
Insane. Where's it at? Is it Norfolk or is it in Delaware?
I don't know.
Either way, it's gonna be insane.
Yeah, that joint gonna be insane. Yeah. And then also that, like the culture of the school, like that's gonna enhance that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
after they play, both schools' coaches are gonna skyrocket.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They're definitely gonna put that game on ESPN.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So it's a lot of good that comes with it. So I actually want to get first off, let me get your take on this. So there has been some pushback on the hires from people saying that they got hired over some other more qualified candidates. What's your take on that?
I think that everything's a business. That's the only thing I can really say about that. That happens a lot. That's just part of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it might be a job that anybody might feel overqualified for, and somebody that you might feel underqualified for gets the job. That's just everything's in the eye of the beholder. So I feel like that. I mean, it's the same thing with sports too. Like, a lot of guys I feel like shouldn't have been an NFL playing receiver. I should have, but I don't ever hate on nobody. That's just like I said, whatever the coaches like, that's what they like. And the same thing with them jobs. Like whatever those schools probably feel like those two guys were the best.
Right.
Best to change the situation of the school.
Yeah.
Even if the other coaches might have had more wins and just, more experience. You gotta just go whatever they thought was best. So.
It's good to have just a dash of luck, but more important than that is who you know.
Yeah.
Like life is about relationships, man.
Definitely.
Like
And those two know everybody.
Yeah.
So
Right. And then not only that, like, I'm pretty sure what they like for them to they both won at the NFL level.
Yeah, facts.
So I'm pretty sure you can take that and kind of transform that into a coaching style or some type of strategic methods to bring in as a head coach for a school. Like it's just not, like, okay, I'm a head coach. I know nothing about football from a head coaching standpoint. Nah, they played under Andy Reid.
Yeah, facts.
And they won under Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me they're not going to get game from Andy Reid? Like they're not going to talk to Andy Reid every week?
They probably already have.
Yeah. Oh,
honestly.
yeah. They're getting that game from Andy Reid, Jimmy Johnson, who's on the Fox team. He's getting Mike Vick ready. Like they're going to bring in,
and they probably bring in some good coaches that were NFL players.
Yeah.
I feel like they will. Maybe not the whole staff, but they're gonna get a little handful of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So also with this happening, like I said, a lot of people are calling this the Deion effect.
Yeah.
And we know that Deion started at Jackson State and then he left for Colorado and he got a lot of backlash for that.
Yeah.
Similar to Michael Vick, he as soon as he got hired, people already like saying, "Oh, don't pull a Deion." So one of the most popular ones was Dr. Umar, who commented on
Oh man, this guy.
Yeah, who commented on Vick getting hired as the head coach for Norfolk State. So I'm gonna read it out and get your thoughts on this. So Umar said, quote, "I'd rather that Mike Vick coach the HBCU Norfolk State Spartans. However, if he's going to pull a Deion Sanders and cut out for a PWI as soon as they jangle some money in front of him, then I'd say go ahead and coach PWI Sacramento State University," because that's the other school he was talking to as well. "This way you spare our boys another painful and humiliating experience with black male celebrity abandonment." What's your thoughts on his take about that first and foremost?
Shout out Dr. Umar, man. He always got some good stuff to talk about. I think that for Vick's sake, he got to do whatever he got to do. Do I think that he should go to Norfolk State and then pull a Deion? No. But we also, from the outside looking in, don't know Deion's situation.
Right.
It could have been something deeper of why he really left Jackson State.
Well,
not only the money. You know what I'm saying?
he publicly spoke on a lot of issues he was dealing with at Jackson State. Like someone broke into their locker and stole, I think, like one of Shador's chains, like the facilities. Like, and then he was saying like tickets money wise, like it was some backdoor shit going on instead of it going towards the proper resources for Jackson State.
Right.
It was some under the table backdoor shit happening for the ticket sales.
Right.
So he publicly spoke on some issues he was dealing with there, but he still made it happen regardless, even while it was going on.
And that's what I'm saying. And I love black people to death, but
Mm-hmm.
we do have a problem with that stuff just being ran right sometimes.
Yeah.
So I like I said, it might have like you say, he publicly spoke on certain things, but it might have even been more than that.
Right.
On why he left. So if Vick goes to Norfolk State and runs to the same situation, if he leaves, I'm not mad at that.
Right.
But if everything goes good and he leaves, now that's a problem.
Yeah.
Now you hurting them young black kids who obviously came there for you because you're Michael Vick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was an icon. So I just hope that if there's no problem, he does stay.
So let's lay out the scenarios. Okay, you're a student athlete. You just got recruited to Norfolk State. You're a freshman playing under Vick. Y'all go 2 seasons. Y'all go 2. First season was okay. The second season was good, not great.
Yeah.
And then Vick gets a head coaching job for a FBS PWI. And he goes and he takes it. So you got 2 years left. But he's not promising he'll be able to bring you along with him to the PWI. Yeah. But those 2 years, you got a lot of great exposure from NFL scouts because he plugged the team in with NFL scouts that came to practices.
Which I know both of them going to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The resources at the school grew, so the actual school grew.
Yeah.
The audience, so y'all got more ESPN games with or without him after leaving. How would you feel then? Would you still feel some type of way?
I think if I'm a player, I don't feel any type of way. I feel like he did all he needed to do, especially to help us. If, you know what I'm saying, everybody's goal is to get to the next level or just to, you know what I'm saying, elevate your game. I feel like if he does stuff like that, it doesn't matter how long he stays as long as he get it done.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. I think that's exactly what him and Desean going to do because that's what Deion did. I think Deion, Travis Hunter isn't the exact same player. I'm not going to disrespect him because the dude is crazy.
Yeah.
But I just think having Deion there, you just made him a way better defensive back and receiver.
100%.
Yeah, so
100%.
I think, like I said, them quarterbacks that going to go in with Vick and then the receivers with Desean, they're just going to be that much better than just having a different coach.
I think for Vick, because like I said, he's from that area. He's from the 757.
Yeah.
I think for him to leave Norfolk State, I don't see it happening no time soon, even if other schools are waving a check for a head coach position in front of him, which will happen even after the first season. But I just don't see it happening because that's his home.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Deshaun from the West Coast, and he's coaching at Dell State. That's a little random. I mean, I get it because it's close to Philly. I think that's why he did it, but it's still a little random. So I don't know as far as that aspect, but with Vick, I just can't see that.
Yeah, nah,
I don't think that would happen personally. Yeah. What is your takes overall with Deion, him leaving Jackson State the way he did? Because it had people on the fence. Half the people understood and was like, "Hey, you did what you had to do. Go get your chicken." And half the people were like Umar said, he's what is called black celebrity abandonment. So what were your thoughts once he actually left Jackson State?
I think that, like you said, he did everything he was supposed to do because Jackson State to this day still putting dudes in the NFL. I personally think, like I said, he just did whatever he had to do at the time. I don't think we fully know the story, so that's why I don't even really speak on it. Obviously, if he left somewhere, he was uncomfortable because he didn't have no reason to leave Jackson State. They just came from the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah.
Even though they lost to Central.
Yeah.
He had no reason to leave.
Yeah, they were
like from the outside looking in.
Right.
So whatever it really was, obviously was a big reason for him to leave and him to take them kids with him. So I don't have a problem. I love what Deion doing. Yeah. Honestly, I think he's taken the culture, just the black culture, and took it to Colorado. Literally. Which is lovely to watch. Yeah. Because it's a big PWI school.
All the black celebrities that went to Boulder, Colorado, just to watch that team play. This is a college team we're talking about.
It's starting to look like A&T out there, like how A&T used to look back in the day on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that. I feel like if Vick ended up doing the same thing, it'll happen the same way. Like if he went to
where he goes,
it'll come with him. I think the same thing will happen. So
yeah, I really don't understand how people were upset with Deion neither.
Yeah.
Because look at the money Deion's going to bring a bag with him. Yeah. Look at the money. Look at the audience. Look at the resources he did.
Colorado, I promise you, Colorado has no problem with him.
Oh, yeah, nah. Yeah. But I'm talking about Jackson State. Like, look at what he did for them. Like, he set them up to succeed after he left. Yeah. It's not like he went there, did nothing for the school, they got worse or stayed the same, they didn't get any better, and he left. He went there, turned them up. It's like, okay, y'all got the platform, y'all got the foundation, now keep it going. Yeah. I'm going to enhance my life, go over here to Colorado, and I'm going to even bring some people with me, but make sure that y'all take advantage of what just happened and build off of this. Did they just win the Celebration Bowl, or did
I think, I don't want to quote it wrong, I feel like South Carolina State was in it.
They did. South Carolina State won. Yeah, you're right. But even still, like I said, he set them up for success. So it's not like he completely abandoned them. And then the public issues that he had come across with Jackson State that he mentioned, and those are just the ones he mentioned, like you said. It might have been more, but like it wasn't like just all fine and dandy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I never understood how people were upset with Deion. Like, would you rather him not go there at all? That's my thing. Like, would you rather him be there for a couple years, enhance the resources, bring some money, bring an audience towards the school, and then leave, or him not go there at all?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and this is coming from someone who played at an HBCU.
Right.
And I'm like, I just don't get it how people are upset with that.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. And honestly, I feel like everybody's just mind their business, let that man do what he got to do.
Yeah.
Because he's helped out both schools.
Yeah.
He brought audience money to both schools. And shoot, Jackson State probably benefit more out of it because they already had less money than Colorado. Just me thinking about it. I feel like he, you know what I'm saying, brought the money to Jackson State that's helped them be where they are now.
Yeah. Well, that kind of goes hand in hand with what I ask you right here. If a black person goes from getting paid from a black bag, if you would, however you want to think about it, and goes from a black bag to a white bag, is that selling out?
Like I said, beginning of the conversation about the Deion, man, you got to do whatever you got to do for your family. So, or just for yourself, just first, but you know what I'm saying, family second. And obviously he already had money, so money might not have always been might not have been like the focal point of
Mhm.
him leaving, but
It helps.
Yeah,
It
definitely. I would
helps.
say it
Yeah,
definitely helps because he's not gonna turn down the
Yeah,
right money.
right.
But nah, you're not a sellout, bro. At the end of the day, this world is combined with both people.
Mhm.
So I know we supposed to be pro-black, and I love black people.
Yeah,
like I
for
said.
sure, which we are, yeah, yeah.
But like situations, I think that we need to take color out of it
Mhm.
and just think about people just using their brain and putting themselves in their best situation for them.
Yeah, and it's about the principle. Now,
Yeah.
if you being as far as like terms and conditions abused for the white bag,
Mhm.
if you being humiliated, if you're, you know what I'm saying, if you're stripped away from something that makes you as great as you are for that white bag,
Yeah.
then yes, that's not even selling out for the black community. That's selling out for your damn self.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's first and foremost. Like if it's still you have the same freedom to do what you got to do, if you're not tied down or if you're not taken advantage of,
Yeah.
going from a black bag to a white bag, then there's nothing wrong with that.
Right,
I think it's
exactly.
only selling out yourself if you're taking away something that makes you what you are. And then how you said
And Deion's the same.
yeah, and how you said, yeah, because he's still doing what he does, always has done, and always will do over at Colorado. And how you said being pro-black, I think that a big aspect of being pro-black is being happy for someone that's doing what they can do at a high level regardless. Like we said, still not being stripped away from what makes them being great. If I see that, whether it's a white bag, black bag, Asian bag, whatever,
Right.
then I'm gonna be happy for that person. Now, if I see they selling out as far as they're like not being themselves, then yeah, we can go down that sellout route if y'all want to. But if they're still being themselves, if they're still giving themselves to the world how they always have been before and after, and they go from one bag to the next, then ain't nothing wrong with that shit, man.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So nah, we ain't gonna talk about that one. You mentioned how Colorado was starting to look like A&T sidelines. Now, so just to go back for A&T just for a second. Oh, matter of fact, before that, let me ask you this. In the beginning of this, we were talking about callings. You said, you know, how like you think the podcast is a calling of mine now.
Yeah.
Which I agree.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the calling of football.
Okay.
When did you realize football was your calling, and where are you at now with that calling and feeding towards that calling and that passion?
Damn, that's a question nobody asked me before. I think it was the same time. I'm thinking for me, it had to been the same time that I got locked up. So I'm saying that because before I got locked up, I was very average, like compared to my junior year. The way I played senior year was like I was two different people.
Okay.
So I felt like to this day, after I got locked up and dealt with all that, my senior year, like it wasn't me playing. Like, it felt like it was an angel because I was just out there making crazy plays.
Yeah.
Like I didn't drop a pass my whole senior year. I had like 600 yards in like 4 games because I was on house arrest, so I missed like 4 games.
Okay.
So and then I got suspended for 2 because I got in a tussle in a game with a dude, and I missed 2 games. So I only played like 6 that year, and I went crazy. And I felt like then the fact that I was able to still play the game and be able to make it to college, that's what I was supposed to do. Because originally, I'm be real, originally as a kid, I wanted to go to Duke and play basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my father liked Duke, so I ended up being a Duke fan. So I was just always, I'm gonna grow up and hoop at Duke. You know what I'm saying? So, but it didn't work out like that. So my senior year, I think that's when I realized like football is it for me because it just turned around so quick, and I was able to get into college and, you know what I'm saying, be able to.
And that's when you realize, okay, this is what I was meant to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So then as you go from high school to college and you play professionally, you mentioned earlier how where you was at was to get to the NFL, right? So going from playing professional but not the NFL, like did that alter your fire for it at all? And go ahead.
No, my fault. But nah, it actually lit a fire in me. So let's jump to let's start from A. Let's start from A&T.
Mhm.
So I go to A&T. My SAT, I think, wasn't. So you can get into a school, but your SAT and stuff and your GPA might not have been high enough to play that
Okay.
season.
Yeah.
So I think that was the case my freshman year. I ended up propping, which was called back then.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing as a red shirt.
Yeah.
So I started my red shirt freshman year when I came out off that season.
Mm-hmm.
We had that good season. Boom. I flunk out of A&T, partying way entirely too much.
Mm-hmm.
I go home, go to PG County Community College, and I do that for a year. Sean, who we spoke about earlier, he was at JUCO with you,
Mm-hmm.
right? But he had more offers than me, like trying to get into a new school.
From JUCO?
From JUCO.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think at first he was about to go to Winston, and he like, come to Winston with me. So I do research on Winston. They don't throw the ball like that. I'm like, I don't know, Sean.
Yeah, they had
It's a
running
better
backs.
situation for you.
Right.
So then he got another one from Shaw, and Shaw's like, you got a receiver? Like, do you know a receiver?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how me and him ended up going to Shaw together.
That's tough.
And then shoot, the rest was history after that, bro. I ended up still number one in receptions at Shaw in all time Shaw University.
Really? Career?
Yeah.
Damn,
yeah, I'm still
that's
number one.
That's tough.
I'm like top 3 in everything else except for
Okay.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
That one year I didn't get any. There's a young boy there now who almost broke my reception record, but he ended up I think he was short like 12.
Okay.
12 catches. And he was there also there 5 years. I was only there 3.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna,
disclaimer.
Not gonna toot my own
Yeah,
horn.
disclaimer.
Yeah, but so that happens. Let's skip to the end of Shaw. That's when I starting getting NFL buzz. The Jets, I talked to the Jets. The Titans pull up to practice one day.
Mm.
And then I went to 2 bowl games where I did pretty good, and then the Ravens were on me heavy.
Mm.
But they wanted me to play like that H-back position, kind of because I was big then.
Yeah.
I was like
H-back
225. Like not a tight end, but like, sometimes a play action is not the tight end, but he's back, and then he usually runs flat routes or something like that's what I was thinking about when they said something about it.
Yeah.
I didn't care shit, whatever.
Yeah, right.
At
that point, yeah.
But I ended up not getting in. So then that whole transition to not getting in NFL, but still trying to get in, the lower leagues got your information. So I was getting CFL calls and then arena calls and just going to CFL workouts and stuff like that, trying to get on teams. So back to Coach Desean, who I was telling you about earlier, he called me for a month straight, bro.
And this is for which team?
Arena.
Gotcha.
For the Havoc, Carolina Havoc.
Got you.
So he's calling me. I'm like, bro, I'm too good for Arena. I'm not about to play Arena.
Mm-hmm.
He's
You
like,
said you too what for?
I told him I was too good.
Too good for
Yeah.
Arena.
So he's like, just think about it. Just kept calling, think about it. So he called for a month straight. I ended up signing with them. And it's politics in all professional football, bro. I get there. They got some dudes that's 35, 36 that is not better than me. They just legends in Arena.
Mm.
And they played over me the first 3 games. And then I played the rest of the season and led the team and everything.
As a receiver?
Yeah, as a receiver, yeah. So that's when that started. And then so after that, the 2021 COVID situation happened. I was out of shape, so I didn't play much that season. 22 happened where I was balling at DB. We went to the championship. We lost the championship that year to Albany Empire. And then 23, I went to Fayetteville Mustangs. It was a new team. That's when I was with Rakeem Cato, the all-time quarterback for Marshall.
Yeah.
And we was balling, bro. We ended up folding. The team ended up folding because we only had one owner. He didn't have enough money to keep the team up.
Mm.
So I ended up getting traded to Orlando Predators, which is a AFL team that's been around for 30 years.
Okay.
So they well known, back when Kurt Warner was playing.
Yeah.
I ended up finishing the season with them. We lost in the playoffs. Last year I went to the Barnstormers, which everybody knows, Kurt Warner original team before he went to NFL. We were losing bad when I was there. We were 0-5. I ended up tearing my LCL a little bit. This is my first real injury, my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So I get into it with a coach because I felt like I was ready in 2 weeks. Like I came back, I was working out.
Booby Miles moment.
Yeah,
You from
I
Midland.
swear it was exactly
You
like
from
Booby Miles.
Midland.
I'm like, Coach, I've been rehabbing 2 weeks straight. Like you
Yeah.
done see me running upstairs at practice. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, I go to the doctor. The doctor like, if your trainer says you're good at practice, then you can play that week.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens. The trainer says I'm good. I get to the game Saturday, and coach pulled him to the side like, yeah, doctor said he never said that. Basically made it seem like I was lying.
Mm-hmm.
So me and him had got into it. He ended up trading me to San Antonio Gunslingers, where I finished the season with them like this past season. And then now I'm going to Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a journey definitely with the arena ball, bro. But if you good, like you get good money out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, it's only like the money's only really low when you're like a rookie or just not that good trying to get in.
How does the pay work exactly?
So basically they pay you less than obviously like NFL and stuff like that, but they take care of everything else. So they pay you less, but you get an apartment.
Okay.
They give you food every day.
Oh shit.
Medical's covered. Everything is basically covered.
So it's kind of like college in a sense.
In a sense, but you get paid.
Right.
basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit, that sounds sweet. So what's the process like as far as getting into the league from there? Like, do you have to heavily try to get sought after yourself, or do NFL scouts, like, how does that work? Because we know Kurt Warner and a few other players like go from there to the league. Like, how does that work exactly?
I think that it's a mixture of both. I think now with the social media being able to like post yourself and all the things you could do, I think that if you can post yourself a lot, you should do that nowadays. But also have a good agent. I never had a good agent for real.
Got you.
So that hurt me. And then I don't think I posted myself enough. Like I should have posted myself more, like running routes and stuff like that. But I didn't. And I feel like that might have hurt me too. But shoot, that's dudes that, so basically the best leagues now are the AFL and the IFL. IFL sends a lot of dudes to Canadian League because I think they are like, they're tied in together.
To the CFL?
Yeah. So, and then now UFL too. Dudes is getting out of the IFL going to UFL. And same with AFL too. So it's just really just, like you said earlier, bro, it's what you know, who you know.
Oh yeah.
And you be able to get out, bro. It's like they're all professional, so it's all tied in somehow, some way.
Okay.
Like sometimes arena coaches are old NFL players.
Okay.
So they got that gateway to get you. Yeah.
Right. Where's your, we were speaking earlier, you asked me if I ever tried to go pro after Bowie State.
Yeah.
I said no, because it was just one of those, what they say, when you're done having fun with it, you're done with it. It was one of those for me. I would still love football to death. Like, that's my number one love. I felt it was my calling. Like, I really saw myself playing in the league in JUCO and even at Towson. Leaving Towson took a lot out of me. I will be honest about that, because when you're at JUCO, all you think of is going D1.
Facts.
That's all you think about. I mean, I'm up till 3, 4 in the morning sending out emails to schools. I'm looking at film. I'm looking at highlights from other safeties. Like, I like, you couldn't tell me anything else. I was going D1.
Yeah.
And to go, even though it was FCS, it was D1 and it was back home.
Yeah.
My folks wouldn't have been able to watch. So I'm there for the spring semester, and it was tough going from JUCO to Towson, like academic wise. That shit was tough.
Yeah.
Them classes were kicking my ass. I had no tutor. They had a study hall where you just had to sit in and do it. Like, I really didn't have no help. Like, that was very tough for me. And you know, at the end of it was that post spring game meeting you have with your coach. He's like, yo, your grades are kind of, we need to pull these up. I'm like, yeah, this was before finals. Like, yeah, I'm going to do good in my finals. I'm going to finish with like a 2.6, 2.8. I think at the time I was like at 1.9, but it was borderline joints. It's like, all right, I need you at least at a 2.2, 2.4, you know, so we're going to have a serious talk. I was like, yeah, for sure, understandable. So before finals, I go in for workouts, and it's a letter in my locker saying I'm off the team. And I was fucked up. Like, I worked all those years in JUCO, all those hours, even getting to Towson. And I did good in the spring game, like a hit similar to QB. I had one of those on the receiver. Like, I was cooking. I was coming along. I was just catching up to the speed of everything. And I find this letter in my locker, and it fucked me up. Like, I broke down and all that shit, right? And I called my mom's, of course, and she was like, well, you know, talk to the coach. This punk ass motherfucker, he gives me the letter right before he goes on a recruiting trip to Florida. So he's not even in the vicinity. I reach out to him. He's not hitting me back, none of that shit. So she was like, well, handle what you can.
Yeah.
Take care of your finals. I was like, all right, fuck it. Studied my ass off, aced all my finals. Finished with like a 2.8 that semester.
Yeah.
But the whole summer happens. I still don't hear from him. I pull up to the office. He was out of the office nothing. He didn't recruit me. The safeties coach recruited me. So like end of the summer, he hit me like, yo, like, what's up? I was like, what you mean? Holla at your mans. He put me off the team because he thought I was going to fail. I ended up with a 2.8.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm going to hit you back tomorrow. Next day, he's like, hey, listen, I talked to him. We can bring you into camp. Like, you're pretty much, and I'm staying in shape.
Yeah.
I thought I was done football, but nonetheless, I still work out.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll bring you into camp. You know what I'm saying? If you're good, if you're in shape, we'll move forward. I was on the team just then. Y'all recruited me. I'm on the team. Now you're telling me I can try out? I felt like that was a slap in the face.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm like, you know what? I was like, I might not even play for real. So shout out to my dog, Daryl. We're in Laurel, you know, Bowie right next to Laurel. And he goes, bruh, you ever thought about Bowie State? So my mans went there. He turned up for them. Like, it's right down the street. Like, let's pull up. I was like, I don't know. He's like, bruh, come on, bro. We pulling up. We get in the car. We go to the school during summertime. I just walk up to the coach random, walk in his office. I'm like, yeah, my name is such and such, such and such. He's like, all right, send me your film. Send him my JUCO film. And it just comes from me just randomly introducing myself. He was like, send me your film, send him my JUCO film. Sewell, the D coordinator, hits me up a couple days later. It's like, yo, like, come to like, yeah, we want you out. We want you over here. Come to tryouts. Go to tryouts, make the team. By week 2, I'm starting. You know what I mean? And I still had love for the game, but still that Towson shit took a lot out of me because all I thought about was D1 and I made it there.
Yeah.
And no shade to Bowie State, but I never thought of going D2. I felt like it was a step backwards.
Yeah,
which
sure,
was
me too.
Yeah, which was the wrong mentality to have because scouts were still coming to Bowie's practice to check out Umar, check out Nami. You know what I'm saying? Like they were still, but I because I didn't take it as serious, I wasn't playing as good as I should have. And the craziest part about this is I didn't realize till after, bro. The first full year after my last game at Bowie State, every single day I dreamed I was suiting up for a game for Bowie State. Every single night. That shit was fucking me up, bro.
That's crazy.
The only thing that kind of helped was going to homecoming the next year. I don't know how, but going to homecoming the next year, just being around all my old teammates, just, I don't know, just being on that campus, it helped die down some. But still, for like the next 2-3 years after that, every here and there, I would still have a dream. And even still now, every blue moon, I would still have a dream I'm suiting up for a Bowie State.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's real spiritual, bro.
Yeah, so I just say all that to say, you know, my fire kind of left a little bit after the Towson thing. And damn sure after my last game at Bowie State. Like, it just felt like the flame just went out. I was like, I don't know, something just telling me to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I say all that to say, we were talking about earlier, just like our passion, our fire for it. Where are you at now as far as your love for the game?
If I had like a scale, I probably would say maybe like, I don't know, because I feel like my love for the game is still high.
Passion for playing.
Passion for playing is dropping by the year. Just more the fact, maybe not the passion for playing, but the passion for preparing to play is not as high as it once was. Because like when I was at Shaw, I was working out 3 times a day. Shout out Coach Hall. He's like the best trainer I ever had. He was actually Tracy McGrady's personal trainer when Tracy was Tracy.
Damn.
So I don't know how he ended up at Shaw. I think because Tracy McGrady's from Durham. He was at Mount, he was at Mount Zion.
Really?
Yeah, it was a prep school in Durham, I think.
Yeah.
So Coach Hall was with him there, and then he ended up getting to Shaw. I don't know how he got to Shaw because Shaw don't deserve him.
Yeah.
But he helped change the culture at Shaw by getting them kids in there, getting in that weight room and really getting better and really getting stronger and faster. Yeah, but he helped me. I feel like I didn't have him long enough. Only had him junior, senior year. But he trained me getting ready for NFL. He was training me afterwards, after college, and he definitely made me a better athlete. So shout out to him, man. Damn, where was I going with that?
You mentioned
basically, so my fire and then was like out the roof. And then as things started happening professionally, like maybe like me not feeling like I had the best chance to showcase my talents or just being in the best situation, it started slowly trickling down.
Yeah.
But obviously I knew like can't let your emotions get the best of you. Like
Right.
you gotta keep
Still-
working, keep staying in
You
shape.
gotta control what you can.
Yeah, and then also me feeling like my family didn't support me as much as I wanted to. Basically seeing like other people's families like always at the games and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Not saying my family didn't come to no games, but I feel like they could have came to a lot more and stuff like that. And just me being,
What difference do you think that would have made?
I think it would have probably just pushed me a little bit more, like to where my drive would have been at a higher peak than it is now.
Yeah.
Because like now I just feel like I'm playing for myself, which you always should play for yourself. But when you playing for something other than yourself, you already know it keeps you going a lot longer.
It's different. When your folks are there in the stands, it's different.
Yeah. So once you get to the point where now you playing for yourself, now it's whatever you battling.
Yeah.
And so now for me, I think the thing that keeps me going is the respect aspect. I feel like I need a little more respect before I leave. Just
stamp your name a little more.
Yeah, stamp my name a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2023 season, I was headed to do that. I was like top 5 in the league that year in everything. Like I said, shout out to Cato, man. It's the best quarterback I ever had in my life. We just had connection like no other. I was top 5 in everything, and then we ended up folding. So I missed a whole month worth of stats. So I ended up not getting nothing, no first team, no second team that year because of that. I think that was the year that, you know what I'm saying, would have started with the respect thing. So I'm just really still kind of chasing that. Obviously a championship too.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about like drive,
Yeah.
I think that's what keeps me going is the wanting more respect. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. You said you mentioned Tracy McGrady's from Durham.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. We're both you lived in the DMV and North Carolina. You know, North Carolina is a basketball state.
Yeah.
Maryland is a basketball state, but
sure.
PG County is especially. Well, no, you can say the whole thing,
because
you got Baltimore and PG and everywhere in between. Like even my school won states a couple times. Shout out to me. Who's better at basketball? What's a better basketball state? North Carolina or Maryland?
Okay, so I'm gonna speak from my opinion second, personal first. So, like I said, when I was young, I wanted to go to Duke. I'm gonna be real. When I left Maryland and came down here, the talent was ridiculous. North Mac is always top 100 in the country in basketball.
Yeah, they're just on states.
Exactly. With young boy that played for Duke now.
Yeah.
I think when I got down here and I realized, so that the year I got down here and wanted to get on the basketball team, all them dudes were like 6'5" and above. Just different. They had one guy, his name was Carlin Brimner. He's a white boy. He was a 9th grader. He was so tough. I realized then I needed to switch sports.
Because you was a junior.
Yeah, no, I was a sophomore. So I'm like, this dude is starting on varsity as a 9th grader.
Yeah.
White boy, scrawny white boy, but he is tough, shooter like JJ Redick.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna just go ahead and play football.
Yeah.
I think that's probably better off for me. But just personal though, I don't know. I mean, like my opinion, I don't really know, bro, because there's a lot of tough dudes that came from Maryland too.
Oh yeah. So what was you said the talent was? Is that what you said? The talent.
Yeah, the talent. Like me coming from Maryland, going to North Carolina, and just playing, the talent was tough.
What was it exactly that made it so different from back home?
I don't really know. I feel like dudes is more maybe. I feel like in Maryland, dudes are more skilled. Here it was more fundamental, like IQ, like everything. Everybody was smart. That's how I felt playing basketball. Because I was like, my senior year, we went like 25-3, something like that.
Damn.
And I was like the 8th man on the team. I came in and played defense. You know the football players. I played defense. I can get to the cup. It's crazy. I can shoot really good now. I couldn't shoot that good in high school.
Okay.
I was like, Dwayne Wade's my favorite player. So I modeled my game after him a lot. So I used to get to the cup a lot and play defense. So I came in for that. But our whole starting 5 went D1. Whole starting 5 went D1.
Damn.
And that usually just don't happen. And it just kept happening year after year. Like, shout out Coach Lewis. That's the head coach at North Mac. He send dudes D1 every single year. So, but I think that skill-wise, DMV players might got it,
Mhm.
but just like the overall IQ and just like learning how to play basketball, like team basketball. I don't know, North Carolina pretty tough, and North Mac not the only tough like high school team here. You know what I'm saying? Dudes coming from everywhere.
Yeah, North Carolina in general, like.
But yeah, but then just the state in general, like Greensboro, really good.
Yeah.
Basketball wise too.
Fayetteville, everyone I know
Fayetteville,
from Fayettille,
crazy.
Everybody I know from Fayettille.
Yeah, I don't even know how I was leaving Fayettille out. Raleigh too. That's what I'm saying. Like it's tough. Like that's a tough conversation.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to disrespect either side.
That was still a good analogy though, as far as comparing the skill to the fundamentals. That was still a good analogy.
Because I feel like in Maryland we more like just outsiders. Like back in the day, we was outside young doing whatever.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So,
Nah, that definitely makes sense. You said something about A&T, how the sidelines look like Colorado. Let me ask you. So I've never been to G-Ho. Did you go to G-Ho? I
haven't been to G-Ho in like 4 or 5 years. Bro.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Like not only like with the football team, but just the school in general.
Really? How so?
Just because I feel like it kind of turned a little PWI-ish with the sports. Like it's a lot. So when I was there, it wasn't that many cops and stuff like stopping what was going on. It was just straight nigga shit going on. You know what I'm saying? At A&T now it's like real more structured. Is what I'm hearing from my boys who still go.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna end up going soon, but I just, what I'm saying, I ain't been there in a little minute. But Geo is crazy though. Like you gotta go. Just one time.
I still never
before
been.
You
so
die,
it really
go.
is. Yeah.
I
think the one time I was really set on going was when COVID happened. I think that was like the one time I was like, okay, I'm ready. We're making it happen.
Yeah.
And I forgot why I didn't go. I think car issues. I don't know, but yeah, I still never been. I'm gonna pull up though. But it's really like.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's different. It's different. They say it's the greatest homecoming on earth. I haven't been to a homecoming better. Now I have been to a homecoming where I might have seen prettier women. I think that was Howard.
That's reasonable.
Howard women are ridiculous.
That's reasonable, and because they from all over. But I think like Howard is known for having beautiful women. So I think like
you
beautiful
said,
women,
they're really diverse.
Yeah, and I think
really
I think like pretty ass women like try to make it like a what's the word I'm looking for? Try to make it like a mission to be labeled as a Howard woman, a Howard alumnus.
Wait, let me not disrespect my A&T ladies.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about it. Because I've heard Howard, I hear A&T. Are the A&T women really like that? Are they worth the hype?
Man, listen. I flunked out for a reason. That's the only way I can go with that. My lady now she went to A&T too. But
we got to stay focused, brothers.
I flunked. You got to stay focused. I flunked out for a reason. That's the only thing I can tell you.
Yeah. I'm going to say this.
It was getting bad.
I'm not going to lie. This is just what I've been hearing. I'm new to the area. Low key, I heard the Central joint's better.
Central?
That's what I've heard.
Central's tough too. Let me not ever disrespect the Central girls.
That's what I've heard.
Central. Really, the little triangle of HBCUs is tough in this area. And like Central, A&T.
How far are they from one another?
Central and A&T are like probably like 40. It depends on how fast you drive.
Yeah.
So like I say from 40 to 55.
That's still sweet though.
Yeah.
For like them to be
That's an easy little drive.
In the same area. That's sweet.
Easy little drive for sure. But yeah, Central got beautiful women too. I think if I had to rank Howard and A&T 1A, 1B, Central's probably second. Perryview. That's how you say that, right? Houston?
Yeah, Houston, H-Town, yeah. I've
been around there too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So this Texas joint, I mean, that's
Jesus.
They hold it down regardless.
Perryview is
Yeah.
Perryview is dangerous. I think they probably like third. And then FAMU. You been a FAMU?
Nah.
FAMU got a ridiculous amount of women too.
What part of Florida that's in? That's in
I think it's a Tallahassee, if I'm not mistaken. I know that's not Jacksonville.
Bethune is where?
I don't. That's crazy. I played against Bethune in Bethune and don't remember.
FAM actually might be Tallahassee. I think they are Tallahassee.
Bethune might be. No, Bethune is Daytona Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Bethune got them too though, but not messing with them top 4.
FAMU.
Yeah,
Okay.
ain't messing with them top 4.
All right, that's a good list. Yeah, as far as HBCUs, like I said, I got introduced late, and I just didn't go to a lot of homecomings. Morgan,
Speaking of that, my wife didn't mean to cut you off. How's Bowie women? I didn't, you know what I'm saying, dealt with a couple, but
they was nice. Bowie, because Bowie's more low key, because it's
Yeah.
a smaller school. But I mean, they were tough.
yeah.
They were tough, bro.
Yeah.
Like from the regular chicks, like to the athletes, to the cheerleaders, to the dance squad, like
yeah.
pretty ass chicks. Because I think Bowie has a lot of people from Maryland, people from PG. They say PG, Pretty Girl County, whatever. But like a lot of pretty ass women went to Bowie, and I had like a shorty at the time, so I ain't go crazy, but I still, you know what I'm saying, I still lived the college experience.
Yeah,
and
me too.
It was still great times nonetheless.
Yeah.
It was still great
You
times.
know who's a sleeper?
Where
Virginia Union.
I've never like seen it,
Yeah.
but I could imagine.
Never been to their homecoming?
Mm-mm.
So the homecoming wasn't crazy, but we just speaking on women.
Yeah.
they-
Union.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
State got them. Virginia State.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely heard. I never been to their homecoming though, but I heard they got them too.
So a girl I grew up with, shout out to Ebony. She was what are they called? It's either GGs or Woo Woos. I'm getting them and Bowie mixed up. That's the only reason why I didn't say it earlier, because I'm like, damn, which one is Bowie? GGs or Woo Woos? So one is
that the cheerleaders?
the dance squad.
Oh, okay,
one of them
okay.
is Bowie. One of them is Virginia State.
Yeah.
But she was a former one at V State, and her whole squad. I'm like, God damn. Jesus. And then I actually like messed with a chick that went to State, and she was tough too.
Now if we talking about dance teams.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't seen one. Like when I was at A&T, the whole squad damn near was like an 8 and above.
Cause they known for that. They dance team and they band.
That's when I was there. I don't know about after.
Right,
I can't
right.
speak, but I'm not gonna feel. I don't want them to attack me in the comments after.
Yeah.
But when I was there, it was like 2011 and 14 range. They was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. I'm trying to think of another dance team, Winston, too.
Oh,
So when I got the Shaw,
yeah, I'm tripping off Winston. Yes.
yeah, we can't.
Winston.
How we forget about Winston?
Them Winston shorties was tough. Like when
Winston-
we
Winston
put up to
always
play
tough.
them, I was like, damn.
They cheerleaders and dance team was tough. When
Yeah.
we was in college.
And they deep too. Like that's a
Yeah,
big
and they deep,
ass.
too.
Yeah, they deep. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that's what I was saying. Like for Bowie to be the size, it was tough.
Yeah.
Because it's not as big as Howard or even
Shaw
Winston.
too though. I'm saying like size wise, Shaw was smaller than Bowie. So you know what I'm saying? Shaw had a handful of pretty women. It wasn't crazy, but like a big high school.
Right. And so, and then with back home, it's like you got Howard, Bowie, Morgan. Of course, I mean, everyone's dealt with some Morgan joints. Morgan is always gonna, you know what I mean?
You know what's so crazy? I don't think I ever had a Morgan shorty. I don't think I ever dealt with
I had a
Morgan shorty.
couple. And I'll just say this. Tate Cobain, he said, and if you fuck a Morgan bitch, you better strap up. That's true shit.
Yeah.
That's
Damn.
true shit.
Shout out to whoever he talking about. That's crazy.
Oh shit, that's all I'm gonna say. Yes, that's true shit. But nah, Morgan is nice with it. Morgan is definitely nice with it. But one thing I'm doing this year in 2025, I already have it written down. I already have it mapped out. I'm going on a homecoming tour. So I'm going to different homecomings, HBCU homecomings. I'm trying to hit all of them. FAMU was on there too, because I had a lot of people who told me to go to Alabama A&M as well.
I heard that shit pretty straight too.
Yes.
I want to go to Texas Southern.
Yeah, Texas Southern was on there.
Gotta go.
What city is that in Texas?
I
Or near
don't know.
exactly?
I feel like it's close to Houston, but I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people said Texas Southern. So I did a reel with Wes Bellamy, asked him the greatest HBCU homecoming. And just as planned, that shit spread like wildfire. And all types of schools were saying how great theirs were. A lot of people from Texas Southern, FAMU, Alabama A&M, Norfolk State. So I'm mapping it out. I'm doing a tour next year.
Yeah.
And of course, Geo, since I've never been.
You gotta go there.
And
for
Howard,
Geo.
if it's not interfering with any other ones on the map. But yeah, I'm doing a tour. Like I'm doing a tour. I'm gonna go to their games, of course, check out their football games. And after that, check out the plots, you know what I'm saying? Check out the events they got going on. And I'm gonna try to set up a booth somewhere and get some interviews going as well.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
if
gonna
I-
definitely try to go to Norfolk State
Yeah.
game, and I gotta go back to A&T now because Coach Gibbs back. So the coaches should shift back, and it should be tough. So I'll probably go to one of the games too.
We got to hit these homecomings up, man. Well, listen, T-Lo, my motherfucking dog. Appreciate you for pulling up.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about
Appreciate
making this happen for a little minute, but You know what I'm saying? It was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Every interview I do is perfect timing, and this is one of
Definitely,
those
bro.
as well. Learned a lot about you and your journey. Very respectful, very respectable, very hats off to it. We'll take my hat off now, but I ain't shaved my shit in a couple of days. So I got some dark, you know what I'm saying?
man.
It's coming in a little bit, so we ain't doing that right now. But now
Yeah.
on the real, man, appreciate you for pulling up
Yeah,
and
sure.
sharing your journey. You know what I'm saying? It's a very relatable one for many people. So I appreciate you for sharing it. A lot of things I never even knew about you. You know what I'm saying? The getting shot part, the getting locked up as a high schooler part, how we both kind of went through that. Never knew that. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you for sharing your story, your journey on this podcast, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you for having me, bro. You know,
Yeah.
we were supposed to do this for a long time. And like I told you earlier before we even started, man, I feel like this is your calling. So
Appreciate that.
you keep this going and shoot. You know what I'm saying? That money gonna roll in with the podcast, you know how that already goes.
Yeah, yeah. It's something.
And I also keep playing football for dudes like you know what I'm saying, who played and had, you know what I'm saying, was good and just stopped for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I feel like I also play I got a lot of friends like that who
yeah,
I knew were good, could be playing on the level that I'm on.
yeah.
So I kind of keep it going for a dude.
Yeah,
like
and
you.
we vice versa. We appreciate y'all because we live it through y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like it's no feeling like strapping up for a football game,
Man.
walking on the field for that
That's the
first
funnest
snap.
part.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's the funnest part of the game. for
walking
sure.
out for that first snap is nothing like it.
Yeah.
And like I said, every blue moon, I still have that dream. But for them first 2-3 years, I stopped playing. Every night, I would have a dream. I was suiting up for a game. So that's definitely something we miss, even though we still out there, because that was our life.
Yeah.
That was all I thought about, dreamt about, ate everything. That was my life for
Yeah,
a very
nah,
long
facts,
time. So
facts.
leaving that, you know, it's good for people like good friends like you that's still playing because we live through y'all.
Yeah.
Fortunately though, I feel that way about podcasting now.
Yeah.
Like I eat, breathe, sleep this, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm glad that I have that because some people aren't able to go from one calling to the next.
Mhm.
After that first calling dwindles down, they're kind of like, well, that was that. Now it's just time to live life on cruise
Right.
control.
And that's the I'm glad we still recording. That's the dangerous part in my mind where I am.
Mm,
Like I know obviously I'm getting older. So I know it's coming to an end
Mm-hmm.
eventually. But I haven't figured out the second calling. Because
Yeah.
I feel like there's always more than one.
yeah.
And
It
you know what I'm
is.
saying? For you, it was football to this. And for me, it's football blank. Like I'm trying to figure that out.
It'll find you because I
Yeah.
had no idea I'd be podcasting while I was playing football. I mean, I wasn't even listening to podcasts while I was playing football. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
But I got into it because it's football. I wanted to be a sports commentator.
Mm.
So I wanted to bring ESPN meets Drink Champs. I still wanted to be me. So I had a football talk show that I was just having fun on.
Yeah.
And after the football season was over, I was like, okay, now what? I was like, I kind of like this podcast shit.
Mhm.
Maybe I should keep it going. And then
Yeah.
from there, I created the Universal show, which is now known as Day by Day Podcast, but it was formerly known as Going Smack Radio, which was like a dating type joint.
Mhm.
Then I changed it to Day by Day to make it every day. And then here we are. So it's going to find you. You know what I'm saying? Even it may not even be outside of football. I
Yeah.
think it'll still be football,
Mhm.
whether it's coaching. Because if not doing this, I'd be coaching. I'd be coaching high school football for sure. So
Yeah.
I think it'll still be football with you. It'll just be it'll be the same route, just maybe a slightly different direction. But it'll come to you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
God will show it to me eventually.
Yeah, it will. Well, again, man, thanks for pulling up. Everyone that's tuning in, whether you're watching, whether you're listening on your respective podcast platform, truly appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, make sure that you fill out the questionnaire that's in the description of this episode. It takes 2 to 3 minutes, completely anonymous. It just helps me make the show better for y'all. So again, got to thank y'all for pulling up. Shout out to my dog T-Lo for pulling up.
Follow me on
Again,
Instagram
Yeah.
at is that DAT TLO TLO.
Yeah, I'm gonna put all your stuff in the description so
Yeah.
they can find you. So make sure that y'all follow him, you know what I'm saying, support him in his journey as well. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that y'all stay safe, stay sane, but most importantly, stay blessed.